Hey everyone, it's Brenda from Artfully Blessed, and we are back. On the last video, we added some pockets to our journal. So we added this pocket. I showed you how to put these together in the kit. I did add a few embellishments here just to kind of jazz it up a little bit. And we talked, this is what I added before. And then we also made a pocket by ourselves. And I told you that I was going to go off camera and finish it up. So the only thing that I did is I put it on the page and I added some lace, and then I added these little purple rhinestones. When you are doing that, adding little rhinestones or whatever to your project, try to use your art glitter glue. Don't just rely on the stickiness of the back of them, because over time that will degrade and you don't want these popping off. So I just put a little dot of art glitter glue in each one of those holes, and then I added the rhinestones. And I didn't add anything to this pocket because, your recipient might want to add their own things like pictures or whatnot. So that's just a lovely pocket all on its own, and it's ready for someone to add something to it. Okay, so let's talk about tags. You may want to add more tags to your project than what comes in the kit. So like I told you earlier, I print extra sheets of paper from the pages from the kit, okay? And I just printed on the regular sheets. I think I used like 24 pound, nothing too chintzy. You could put it on 20 pound because we're going to put it on something else anyway. But I like to use at least 24 pound or, even higher, but 24 pound is a good weight to get very nice color, and it just looks really nice. So what I want to do is I want to make this a little thicker though. I don't want to just have a tag that's like this. So I'm just going to take a piece of my ivory cardstock here, and I will turn this over, and I'm going to put just lines and lines of glue stick. And it doesn't matter if you get all the way to the edges, just, because we're going to cut these apart anyway, right? Because we're going to make some tags out of this. So just get as much as you can and then turn it over. I guess on this one, the main thing is to kind of get the middle, okay? I'm going to burnish it with my bone folder just to get a good seal there in the center, okay? And even if this comes up after, it's not going to matter because we can glue it back down. But I kind of want that on there. And then once you have your glue stick, once you have this glued with your glue stick, it's kind of, wet and damp. So you're going to set that off to the side to dry, okay? So now this one here and this one, I already glued and let dry. Okay, so let's talk about how I can make some tags. We'll use this one first, okay? You can make tags a couple different ways. You can, put it in your cutter and make tags yourself. If you have tags, like a Big Shot, you can actually, just make different sizes all out of one sheet. And I have this Elizabeth Craft Designs. This one is called Tab 4 with Tags, and it's number 2055 from the Planner Essentials dies. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to start off by using this one, and then we'll do it a different way. Okay, so in this kit, this die kit, it's meant for their little journals or whatnot, but so I don't usually use this one, but it has a lot of different size dies. And what I like is it actually has a little piece here that cuts out where I could stick ribbon, which is kind of nice, right? So let me grab the largest one and see, maybe I want a really large tag in my journal. Okay, so if I want that, then maybe I'm going to cut, I'm just going to cut this here, you know, here and here in my cutter so that I can cut that piece out, okay, to use. And then maybe I want a smaller one, maybe a couple smaller tags as well, okay? And I could probably put those side by side in my cutter. So now I can just cut this here and then, you know, to the end, and I should be fine. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to just use these 3 for right now. I'm going to grab my cutter. And because I put the lines there, I can use a smaller one. I don't have to get that big chunky cutter out. So I'm just going to cut. That wasn't even, Brenda. Okay, so let me cut that a little bit better. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick this in here just to make sure I haven't cut too much out. I should still be good on that line. So I am going to cut, maybe I'll cut just a smidge to the right of that line. And now when I put this in my Big Shot, okay, which we're going to do in a second, that'll be perfect for that size. And then on this one, cut off the edge. And at this point too, you can decide, like, maybe I don't want those side by side. You know, maybe I want to make sure I frame something. So like this one, for instance, I really like this heart. Okay, so I'm going to set that there, which means this one, will it still fit? I think it will. We'll see how that turns out. So I'm not even going to cut. I might cut just a tad off of here. I want to make sure it goes in my cutter. Okay, so I'm going to set my, not my cutter, I'm sorry, my Big Shot, guys. All right, so let me bring my Big Shot up, so you know what I'm talking about. So if you have one of these Sizzix Big Shots, okay, then you can use these dies, okay. So you're going to put your acrylic down. Let's do the large one first. I like to use a magnetic platform with my dies because it will hold them down. If you don't have a magnetic board, if you don't have a magnetic platform, okay, then you can always take a little piece of tape, and this is non-tacky, so you know it'll come right back up. But you can, and sometimes I still do it even with my magnetic, if I want it to be something very particular. Like I'll be definitely using it on the next one, because that one is going to be holding that heart, or centering on that heart, and I really like that heart. Okay, so now I'm going to have this go through my Big Shot. So now when I take this off, you'll see I have a tag, and it has that nice hole there where I can put the ribbon through. So I'm going to set that tag aside. And because I glued paper together, you can't even tell, because I did that with that glue stick and I let it dry. So it looks like it's just one sheet of paper right now, and it's really not, it's 2. So now let me go to the second one that I wanted to do, which was this one. And on this one, I said I wanted to capture this heart, because that's really pretty. That would be a beautiful tag. And then for this tag, there's really nothing on here that is too exciting, right? So, I mean, that would be fine. This would be fine as well. I don't want to waste a lot of paper, but, you know, maybe there's nothing on here that's exciting. However, on this one, I think I will do that because we can always doctor the tags up after. I'm just going to put a little tiny tape there. There's my sandwich. And then here it goes. I'll do these as well. All right, I'm going to put my Big Shot away because not everyone has these, okay? So that's why I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do this. So now here's this one. And here is this one. Ooh, I really like that heart. And I'm not going to I never get rid of paper. I'll use these for something else, okay? So that is if you have a die cut machine. All right. And they're kind of almost done, right? We have 3 tags here. Let me just show you on the back of this so you can see them a little bit better. There's 3 tags. You know me in my corner rounding. I really do like to round my corners. And this particular tag did not have the corners rounded, but even though it doesn't, you can still go in and round them. The reason I like rounded corners is when you're sticking your tags in pockets, they go in a lot nicer if the corners are rounded. Now, this tag is super fun. What's really great about this is it is so large that it's a tag and you can write on it, but it's so large that we could also put a pocket in it and then stick a tag in that. Okay, so it's almost like a tag and a tag. So maybe we'll do that. I'm going to set these aside for a second, and we might do that. Now, there is this other page from the kit. Okay, so now let's pretend I don't have a die cutter and I can't do these tags. How would I, make a tag out of this? So let's look at it and decide, okay, maybe we want a tag that, this is kind of directional. So maybe we want this to be a tag. And I glued this, see how I glued this? Lopsided. So the first thing that I'm going to do is kind of even this up a little bit, so that my other page that I glued to is even with the page that I glued on top. It's pretty close. Not too bad. Just so we can see what we're working with. All right. So now I have this one. Let's see what we have here. We have about 7 3/4 to work with. So let's get some tags out of that. All right, the first thing that I'm going to do is I think I want a tag that's going to be 3 inches. So out of this long sheet, I could probably get a couple tags. Maybe I don't want to get rid of this bottom part though. So let's first turn it and decide how tall this way our tag's going to be. And on this one, I'm going to go with 5.5 inches, somewhere abouts, okay? Maybe 5 1/4. All right, because I don't want to lose that part. So now let's take it and decide, do we want a tag that's 2 inches? Do we want a tag that's 2.5? Let's go with 2.5. And that doesn't look too bad. And we can make some more tags while we're at it, okay? So there's a key on this one. So let's make sure that we get the whole key on the bottom of the tag. And that's at 2.5 inches. And then that leaves us with this, which is, you know, and it doesn't even have to be even inches, right? This is like 2 3/4 inches. So now we have these 3, and then I wanted this one, remember? So I'm just going to cut in the middle and say, okay, I want this to be 2.5 inches. And there we go. That way I have that on there. That gives me this, which isn't bad. And then that gives me this. Okay. Now this one, I could actually turn and make a couple tags this way. It doesn't have to be totally, you know, in one direction. So I'll set that aside for right now. Let's work with what we have. So because we don't have the die cut for this, let's decide how we're going to do our tops. Okay, so what you do with your tags to get that nice tag look, right, is you can just take your scissors and you can just take a little piece off. You don't want to go too far this way, and you don't want to start too far down this way. Okay, so you just kind of get a good, what you think would be a good angle. Okay, so I can already tell I went too far up, but we're going to fix it, and that's okay. I almost did that on purpose, haha, because I'm going to show you something. So now this came off of here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over so that it is on this side. And the reason I'm doing that is because I need it to be exactly the same. So you're going to use it almost like a template, right? So see how much they're even, but they're pretty high this way, right? I could take my cutter and I can cut across here, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just eyeball it. So if you go too far like I did, you can always fix it by just cutting off that top. And see, now that's a nice looking tag top, right? I can take my corner rounder. I can round the bottom. All right. And I don't have, I do not have this part. Oops, look at that's coming off of there. I'll show you how to fix that. I don't have this part in here, but that's okay because I'm going to put a hole there. So let's do a couple more. But before I do that, I'm going to glue this one down a little bit. Because remember I told you got to really glue with that, your glue stick. But, you know, if you miss any part inside of your paper, then it'll come apart. So, you know, you want to definitely make sure that you're checking your edges. And that might have been the only one. Nope, this one too. So on this one, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. It's not bad. It's just at the tip top. But I definitely want a good seal on those. Okay, so we did one tag. Let's do another one. So here's that real small one, and I got to decide which is up. So this is facing up. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to flip this over. And I'm going to cut it like that. Okay, so there's the top of my tab. Once again, it might be too tall, but you can always cut across. You decide how you want your tops to look. So let me try to go a little bit less crazy. I'm going to go like this. And then make sure that you put it back on so you know where it was. So you can flip it. Because there's going to be different angles. Okay. That's not bad. So I'm going to round my corners on these. Paper's coming up, see that? So it's no worries for this, because, you know, a little bit of art glitter glue, or even going in there with your glue stick, it'll stick it back on. It'll be fine. Okay. So now we have these two left. Okay. Now, you may have a punch that has a tab top. And let me see if I have that here. I thought I did. Maybe not. I do have a punch that will put a nice top on, you know, on your tabs. But I thought I had it here at my table, and I think I might have put it away. Let me just take a real quick peek just to make sure. I do want to kind of show you that if I do have it here. All right, maybe I don't, and that's okay. All right, so for this one, I'm going to just leave it. And then this one, same thing, let's check to make sure everything is glued down. Okay. And on this one, I'm not going to do the top. I am just going to round all the corners. Because there's nothing wrong with just rounding all the corners and sticking it in a pocket either. Okay, maybe I'll do that to this as well, this one too. Because what this is giving us is extra ways that we can journal on the back, and it's giving us items to put in our pockets. Okay. So here's all of our tags that we made. I'm going to flip that over so you can kind of see them better. So let's start with the ones that came from the die set. Okay. I want to put some ribbon in here. And just so you know too, the die set that I was using, they also have these dies, which are kind of nice because they're reinforcers. So I could actually put, cut a different material, or, like a solid color, and I could then fold it over, and it would reinforce quite a bit. Or I could just take some ribbon, and this isn't going to probably be the best one to show you, but I could take some ribbon and I could just stick it through there and then staple right here, and you would have your tag. Okay. Let's work with this one though. I really like the idea of doing a pocket. So if I have paper near me that will work, we're going to go that route. Let me see what I have for cardstock color. That might work. I think that might work, or I have some cardstock that I pulled in the beginning that I thought went well with this kit. Let me grab a green one if I have one here. Here's a different purple. Yep, here's a green. I think I might like this better. Here's the green. There's a purple. I'm going to go with the green. All right. It's not perfect, right? It doesn't totally match that, but there's just different shading in there that I think it'll work. So with that being said, let's measure. This is 3.5 inches, right? So to do my pocket, I'm going to cut this down. And remember, in the last video, we made pockets, so this should be old school for you guys. So I'm going to just, this is kind of yucky on the one side, so I'm going to cut this down a little bit so I can work with it a little bit better. Okay, so that was 3 inches. I don't want it totally flush with that 3 inch. No, wait, what did I say? 3.5. Yep, 3.5. All right, so I want this a little bit less than 3.5. So I'm just going to go 1/8 in and cut that. And that will work. Okay. And I don't need it really super tall, so let's go 275. Okay, that'll work. Now, I rounded the corners here, so I'm going to do the same rounding so that it looks nice. It looks like it belongs together, okay? And now what I want to do is I want to take a hole punch, and let me find one. 1 3/4. I don't need that really big one, so let me just find one and just punch a little thumb. Thumb spot here. Just a little one. And then I can stick that on there. Okay. Now, I wasn't going to do this, but remember, I just told you that this die came with these nice toppers, right? And so to make this cohesive, I am going to take one of these and I'm going to cut it out on my Big Shot real quick. So just give me 1 second. It's right next to me. I don't have to do it on camera. And that way, those two pieces will go together. All right, I'm back. I'm going to take my little pokey tool and I'm going to poke that out. So what's really nice about this die, and I don't know if you can see, but it has like a nice line here, okay? And so it'll show you where to fold. So I'm going to fold that, squeeze it together, got gluey fingers, and then I'm going to stick that on there as a nice reinforcer, okay? So now we're ready to glue. Of course, do we want to do any inking? Possibly, so let's do that first. So I'm going to go around my tag. And a tag this big, you don't have to really have a pocket to put it in. You could actually just paper clip it from the bottom into your journal. You could paper clip it from the, you know, to the page, you know, to the side. It's whatever you want to do, but you don't have to put this big of a tag in a pocket of its own. It's totally up to you. There's a lot to be said about just paper clipping something to a page. That way the person can take it off. Even a journaling page, you could paper clip it to that, and then the journaling page is still there and available for that person. So lots of possibilities. All right. Now I'm going to take my art glitter glue. And the pockets we made before, remember I said, you know, we folded the stuff, and I said you could make flat ones as well. That is what we're doing here, because we're not going to put a lot in here. We might just put like one little simple tag, right? Something just simple, okay? So we don't need it to really stand up a lot, or do we want it to? So sometimes making a pocket is just cutting out a square, or rectangle, I should say, and you know, rounding corners, maybe putting a little thumb notch in, and you're good to go. Okay, so now we're going to take this and we're going to center it. I don't want it totally to the bottom. I'm putting about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. And then I'm going to take this reinforcer, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue there, but I also want a very thin little line along the other edges too. This is where you got to be a little bit careful. Whoops. So you're going to try to get it where it is framing that hole, and you're going to fold it over. And I got a little bit of gloppy glue there, and that's okay. I'm not gonna worry about it. And the reason is because we're going to have ribbon that comes through there anyway. So even if your glue is in there, and you know, no one's going to notice, because ribbon's already, it's going to be hiding it. Okay. So there's that. Now maybe we want to decorate this a little bit. Let me bring my little basket forward and see what we have. We do have some purple items. That could work. Might just do those two. I think that might be okay, because then when we put our other tag in, we can make sure that it is you know, it goes with that. So let me very slightly darken my edges, because then that'll make it just a little bit more 3D-ish, or that it'll stand out a little bit better. And I'm going to put this here. And then this. I'll go right here. Okay. Not too bad. Now let's put some ribbon on it, and I think that's going to be what makes it pop for us. So I'm going to grab my stapler, and let me pick out a pretty ribbon. I have some seam binding, but that is not the green I was going for. what I want is I want this one, and let me tell you why. Oh, no, I think that's the same as the other, but that's okay. I thought this was showing lace on both sides, but this would still work. Let me see how it will look, though, once I pull it through. Yeah, that'll still work. So let me cut a little bit of that off. And what you want to do is you're going to just have your ribbon in there. If it's too thick, it might be hard to staple. So let me just try this. Remember I told you that reinforcer was going to be hidden. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. Because this ribbon is pretty thick, normally I would just go in the center. I'm going to do 2 staples, so I'm going to go one off to that side. And then I'm going to come in the other way, checking my back, and I'm going to go one off that way. Okay, because I really want this to hold. So now I'm going to take my scissors and do a little bit of an angle trim. And voila. So there's our tag with a section for a tag. So this one could go in here easily, right? What did I just do? Boy, I got a little crazy with my inking. I'm going for that vintage. Now this time I'm not going to put a reinforcer. And I'm going to use the same ribbon, I think. Yeah. Is this the same? This is a little bit thinner, this one here. It's not quite as wide, that's what I mean. So I'm going to use this one in here. And I'm just going to do 1 staple. I really like the crochet ribbons. I just think they're so pretty. They're so vintagey and old-fashioned looking. And all right, so I'm just going to do 1 staple. But the thing is, you have to really kind of hold that taut or whatever. I think it's taut. All right, so 1 staple. Here we go. Committing. Here we go. All right. I'm going to angle it and angle it. And now that is in there. And we have 2 different kinds of ribbon, and it really doesn't matter, right? Because it's just, it adds to it. But if we really wanted to, we could say, okay, let's make this a little more cohesive. And remember, we're not sticking this in a pocket. We're going to paper clip it to a page. So I could, with that first ribbon, you know, come down to the bottom. Ooh, I really like that. And I could say, okay, I'm going to glue something to the bottom that matches the top. So let me do that. And then when I'm finished, we're going to find a spot in our journal for this, just so I can show you how pretty it'll look. So Fabri-Tac, because we're doing ribbon, we really want it to hold. So I'm going to take it and kind of smush it on there, you know, really making sure that I flatten that across, almost stretching the ribbon, just to make sure that that Fabri-Tac, it's pretty thick, so kind of flattening that Fabri-Tac out. And then I usually will go a little bit beyond what the tag is, and then after, you know, I have it glued down, then I can come and I can trim it. So on this, we have this side, right, that people can use for journaling. And, you know, you could put something on the back if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. So you could, you know, glue something there just to kind of tie in with the colors. That would be fine. You know, maybe you want to glue something like that down. In fact, I think I'll just do that. And then, you know, you can come in later and put a word on there or something if you wanted to. You know, maybe stamp a word or do a rub-on that has a word in it. There's a lot of different possibilities. Okay. I really, really like this. So we have a tag with a tag. So there's journaling here. There's journaling here. And it's a very nice decorative piece for your journal. So let's find a spot for it. Let's find a home. Okay, so my camera on my phone, my phone actually died in the last video, so I did find a home for the tag that we made, and it was one of the other pages that we worked on in the last video where we did pockets and we did that beautiful leaf. I decided that this looked really good here. So you just take your little paper clip. This is a medium size, and you stick your tag in there, and I thought that really looked nice. So once again, you can pull this off. You can journal here. You can journal here. And then clip it to the page, and then you're journaling a little bit here and then up here as well. So lots of beautiful little spots here. And what's really nice too is with this ribbon that sticks up, when you close your journal, see you have some ribbons that stick up, and your hidden paper clip too sticks up a little bit, and that just adds a lot of character and stuff, I think, to the journals. So thanks for joining me today, and please don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this one. And the next time, I'm hoping that we are going to do some little bit more advanced techniques. I'm going to try to teach you how to do a waterfall effect in this journal. So don't forget to like and subscribe so you get notification of that. Thanks again, and have a great day.